It really bothers me, guys. It bothers me. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Breathe Life and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, welcome. I do true crime commentary with a dash of natural hair. So today I wanted to discuss the story of a survivor. Her name is Jessica Reid. This is a story that has been on my mind for a long time. It's been on my heart. It felt like it pierced my soul. When I heard her story, I was really impacted and I decided, you know what, I have to share this story. So let's get right into it. Born on June 28, 1978, Leonard Larry McKelvey, who calls himself Charlamagne The God, is mostly known for being an American radio presenter or a DJ, and he's co-host of a radio show called The Breakfast Club. Many of you may be familiar with it. He hosts with someone named DJ Envy and Angela Yee. And prior to his work on The Breakfast Club, he was known as a co-host with Wendy Williams on VH1. He's known for saying a lot of shocking things. And he said that he doesn't bite his tongue for anyone. And it clearly shows because he says a lot of things that makes me wonder why he has not already been canceled.
I remember going, I went to the sex store and got Spanish Fly. Oh, shut up. Spanish Fly. They sell it in the sex store. I'm telling the truth. They sell it in the Spanish store. I had to fucking.
They sell knives at the store too. You could put that to a girl's throat and have sex with it. That doesn't mean it's illegal.
So I put the Spanish Fly in the E&J. We drinking the E&J and shit. So in my mind, I don't know if this shit really worked, but I felt like I got horny as a too. Right? So she was drunk and we had sex and like a lot of my boys was trying to come in the room and I'm like, nah, chill out. I can't. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna let you run a train on it. That's rape. Yeah. Okay. So, right. So
it's just one-on-one. It ain't rape.
Yeah. So the next
trains are rape.
So the next morning she wakes up. And we talk about it. And she's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, we had sex." She said, "Okay, well, I'm glad it was you." Then a couple days later, she's like, "Yo, are you sure I only had sex with you?" Because one of my stupid ass cousins was going around saying he f***ed her, which he didn't. I know for a fact he didn't. I was there the whole time. Yeah. He did not fuck her. Yeah. He looked at her naked, but he didn't f*** her, right? So I'm telling her, no, me and you just had sex. Nobody else did nothing. So it just was weird that she was like, well, I'm just glad it was you. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm like, yo, you could have been in a real bad situation if it was another
compliment, man. A girl just said, yo, at least you me.
I did not.
If it was any of your cousins or friends, it would be.
I didn't because me and her had every intention of having sex with each other.
So then why would you put the Spanish Fly?
I was a freaky. I'm still a fucker, but I was listen,
Wait, was she passed out while you f***ed her?
Nah, she wasn't like. She was like one of those drunks where she was one of those drunks where like she was one of those drunks where she was like she wasn't coherent, but she was up. You know when your girls is like when you're blacked out like that, don't know what the is going on type shit.
Charlamagne grew up in South Carolina where as a teen he allegedly was arrested twice for possession of marijuana and cocaine with intent to distribute. When he was arrested a third time after being near a non-fatal shooting, his father refused to pay his bail money. And after 41 days, Charlamagne asked his mother to pay for bail, at which point his father decided to give him another chance. After his release, he began attending night school and he was able to graduate from Berkeley High School. In 2001, he was accused of assaulting Jessica at a party. So this is where the story of Jessica Reid comes in. Charlamagne allegedly had forcible relations, and you know what I mean when I say forcible relations, with Jessica Reid when she was 15 and he was 22. He tries to say that he was 20. And this is what he told Jessica at the time. But according to the documents, He was actually 22 at the time and she was 15 years old. Jessica reported that they met before the alleged attack through a mutual friend. They actually met in a parking lot. And according to Jessica, Charlamagne had a crush on her, but the feelings were not reciprocated. So he agreed to just be friends with her. According to Jessica, he actually introduced himself to her mom. You know, they hung out a couple of times. He told her mom that he was like her big brother, that he would protect her, he would keep her safe. He told her mom and Jessica that he would make sure that nothing bad ever happened to her. So basically, he was just pretending like, or allegedly pretending like, he was a big brother to Jessica. And at the time, he was aware that Jessica was 15 and he knew that she was underage while he was 22. In a 2013 interview with DJ Academics, Charlamagne claims that he didn't really know Jessica that well, even though he hung out with her on several occasions. And he claims that he was 20 at the time of the alleged incident.
Liar, liar, pants on fire, allegedly.
So this is where the incident happens. Charlamagne invited Jessica to a party, which he claimed was his birthday party. And Jessica didn't want to go, but he kept insisting that she go because it was his birthday. And that is the only reason why she said yes. And she didn't want to go alone, so she called her brother's fiance at the time. She was 18 years old, and she asked her to come with her to the party. Her brother's fiance said okay, and they went together.
Malika and I sat down, and Charlamagne asked us if we wanted something to drink. Malika took a drink, but I told him I was fine. I didn't want to drink. But it's like he kept pressuring me to drink. He was like, this is where Charlamagne gave Malika and I the drinks. He himself made those drinks. He told me that I could trust him. I was like his sister. He would let nothing happen to me that night. He repeatedly asked me over and over and over if I wanted to drink. And even after telling him no several times, he still pressured me. I finally took a drink. Now, mind you, I'm 15 years old. I'm a child. I'm a minor. I'm being pressured into drinking by someone who I thought I could trust. I let my guards down. And I said, you know what? This is my friend. He won't let anything happen to me. And he betrayed me. He allowed his friends or cousins or whoever those guys were to take advantage of me, and he himself took advantage of me as well. He brought me here and left me here.
Ms. Starr, I'm your host, and I have Malika Joyner on the line with me, the friend and relative of Jessica Reid, who was indeed raped in 2001 in South Carolina at a party where Leonard McKelvey, also known as Charlamagne, did take a plea to contributing to the delinquency of a minor. But Malika, you have come forward, you contacted me, and you want to tell what you saw. I mean, let's just get right to it. What did you see that?
Well, okay, we can get right to it. We were offered drinks. There was something in the drink.
He went in the kitchen, made a drink for me. I took the drink and I sat next to Malika, and I was drinking my drink, and she was just about done with hers. She just, out of the blue, started throwing up. And the funny thing about it was, after she was throwing up, he kept asking her or trying to give her more drinks. And she was like, you know, I can't drink anymore.
Clearly, Charlamagne had a way to manipulate.
Allegedly.
And speak in a way that convinced Jessica's mom that he was really there as a big brother. And she believed that Charlamagne was someone who is trustworthy. And it was very unfortunate. She wasn't even legally allowed to drink. And she kept saying no, but he kept insisting and saying, take the drink. And, you know, if you don't have street smarts, or if you're at an age where your brain is not fully developed, it's been said that the brain doesn't fully develop until you're in your 30s. So not only was she underage, but she didn't have the experience and the wisdom to know that the fact that Charlamagne kept insisting on providing her with this drink, that something was off. Because she wanted him to stop asking her to have a drink, she eventually just took the drink along with her friend.
That was my first time ever meeting him. I was introduced through Jessica. I knew nothing about him. I was basically going there. She asked me if I would like to go with her. So I said, yeah, I'll go with you, right. You know. So I didn't know him at all prior to this event occurring. I didn't know who he was.
I sat my cup down and I just said, okay, I started feeling weird. And I said, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. This is what I told myself. And when I got up to go to the bathroom, I fell to the floor. I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't move my arms. It's like I had no control over my limbs. I could see and I could hear, but I couldn't move. So I heard the guys in the back and they were laughing, and Charlamagne was laughing. And he told them to take me upstairs. Taken upstairs by two guys.
Charlamagne tells his friends to take Jessica upstairs because she is stumbling. She's not really able to move her limbs because of whatever was placed in the drink. So they take her upstairs, and that's when two of Charlamagne's friends assault Jessica. The next thing that happened was, according to Jessica, that is when Charlamagne took her to a bed, allegedly, and assaulted her in every way that you can imagine. She was screaming. She was, you know, trying her best to get him off of her. But because of being drugged, she didn't have the bodily strength to move him off of her. So I'm going to read the incident off of the police report. So this is the police report, and it says, on the above date and time, this deputy responded to Short Stay Naval Recreational Center in reference to a possible RAPE. Upon arrival, this deputy and Reserve Deputy Thomas met with Short Stay Security C. Dangerfield and advised him of the situation. Both units then proceeded to Ville number 30, where we found two black females sitting in front of the two-story rental unit. Upon approaching the two women, I noticed a black in-color Mercedes-Benz with three black males in it. I immediately asked the victims if the men in the Mercedes were involved, and they replied no, that they had just stopped to let the girls use their cell phone to call for help. While I assessed the girls' injuries, the Mercedes pulled away, leaving Short Stay. I immediately recognized that the two girls, very intoxicated in some type of manner unknown to me at the time. The first female to speak was later identified as Malika Joyner, stated that she had no idea where they were or how they got there. I then tried talking to the second female, later identified as Jessica Nicole Reid, who was crying uncontrollably, stating that she just needed help and wanted to go home. I then advised dispatch to send me an ambulance to check the girls for injuries. I then proceeded to question the girls, who were both having trouble sitting still and keeping themselves upright, though they were sitting upright. Joyner was able to advise that someone unknown to them picked them up from their residence in Somerville and gave them a liquid drink that Joyner stated tasted like soda. Joyner states that is the last thing she remembered until she woke up with a man trying to kiss her. Joyner then states that she forced the man away and went to find her friend Reid. Joyner stated that she found Reid in the room across from where she was, naked and crying, stating that she had been raped. Joyner then stated that she called her mom, who called 911 to summons the sheriff's department for assistance. The ambulance arrived and treated the girls and transported the two to Somerville Medical Center for further treatment. Myself and CPL Dawson, who had arrived on scene, proceeded to the rental unit to make sure that the suspects were not still present. Security unlocked the unit and myself and CPL Dawson cleared the residence, finding no suspects to be present. During the safety search of the residence, I noticed that there was a strong odor of what I identified as burnt marijuana that I recognized from my experience as a law enforcement officer. Several empty containers of alcoholic beverages were also laying around, giving the impression that a party may have taken place at that residence. I also noticed that in the upstairs bedrooms, one bed was in complete disarray with the sheets completely messed up and in a pile in the middle of the bed. A silver bracelet was laying next to the bed in plain view, which was later said to be Reid's. A hole was noted in the wall, which was said to be caused by Reid. The other bedroom was in order. However, the sheets on the bed were pulled back as if someone was ready to go to sleep. Okay, so in this next document, it discusses the incident, and you can see that it's a court document from the state of Carolina. I'm going to go ahead and read the description of the offense. So it basically says that the defendant, who is a 22-year-old adult male, did willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously engage in penile vaginal intercourse with a 15-year-old female child. Facts to establish the aforesaid. On the morning of 6/9/01, the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office was contacted by Jocelyn Reid, the mother of the minor victim, after she received a phone call advising her of an assault that had occurred with her 15-year-old daughter. The minor female was transported by EMS to Somerville Medical Center for treatment of injuries sustained during the assault. Affiant responded to the Somerville Medical Center and obtained a verbal and/or written statement from the minor female which implicated the defendant in the assault. Examinations conducted by Somerville Medical Center corroborated that an assault had occurred. The affiant, I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, affiant, through investigation was able to locate the incident location and confirm that this incident occurred in Berkeley County. It's documented that this incident occurred. According to Charlamagne, he stated that he was not present, and although he was not present, he still pled guilty to a lesser charge. Please, someone make that make sense. If I was not present, I would not plead guilty to anything. I was not there. I did nothing. But according to Charlamagne, although he wasn't there, he still pled guilty to a lesser charge. Jessica did not testify because her mom basically was trying to protect her.
According to the detectives, because he negotiated a plea deal, he cannot be prosecuted for the rape charge.
I will provide the link in the description box so you can hear the entire story. I actually heard this story from John Crimes. Jessica has not received any justice, and the more that people hear this story, the more likely that you know, she'll be able to reopen the case, which is what she is trying to do now. She's trying to reopen the case. As I was stating, Charlamagne claimed that he didn't commit the act. He stated that he provided DNA evidence, which cleared him. And the truth is that he provided fingernail clippings. And if you look at the documents, the fingernail clippings were never tested. I first heard this story a couple of years ago, but it was bits and pieces, and I didn't really know her whole story. You know, sometimes because you don't know a story, you're quick to jump to a certain conclusion. Sometimes people tell stories because they want to get some sort of clout, as they say. But when I actually heard the entire story, and I heard the story from Jessica's mouth of the entire incident, including Charlamagne's history, where he actually, you hear from his own mouth where he says he puts Spanish fly in a woman's drink. So it's not a story that someone told. It's a story that Charlamagne actually confirms, allegedly. Even in a story about his wife, he talks about how he has intercourse with her while she's under the influence. And even though his wife, who wasn't his wife at the time, stated that, you know, she didn't want to participate in relations with Charlamagne for about a year or so. I believe that's what he said. And he really wanted to engage in that activity. So he took advantage of her allegedly while she was under the influence of alcohol. And then he later tells her, oh, I think I RAPE'd you. And she says, you know what? In hindsight, you really did.
I know that sounds crazy, and I know y'all listening like, yo, that's messed up. Yeah. I keep telling y'all, I've told y'all this over and over. It's a lot of things that guys did, especially when we were young, that were rape, that we just didn't consider rape. And I'm married to my wife. Me and my wife dated for a whole year. She would not give me no. Me and my wife hung out one Saturday night, and she got sloppy drunk and passed out of my mama's house, and I got that. No!
Damn, while she was passed out?
Yes, I mean, she was f***ing me back and all that, but she was really drunk. So I asked her yesterday, I was like, yo, did I rape you the first time we ever had sex? And she looked and she goes, I mean, in hindsight, yeah. No.
So you can see the behavior of this type of man. I'm going to leave you with a couple of clips, and you can judge for yourself and see it for what it is, okay?
He came to our home and he acted as if he was going to be a friend to us. He came to us and said, don't worry, nothing's going to happen to her. And I'll make sure that she'll be safe. He eluded us to believe and trust in him, and then he turns around and violates my daughter by raping and drugging her, and then he gets away with it. When I made the decision not for my daughter to testify, I was focused on her well-being, and I wanted the best for her. I didn't want to put her in the stand to relive all of that pain and suffering. And now, 17 years later, because he continues to make mockery about it, joke and laugh about it, like it doesn't even matter to him, or he has no regrets or anything.
She said she got. So I go to the hood to ask what happened. They like, yeah, you know, my cousin who had got the scholarship, yeah, he's in jail now. What you mean he's in jail? He's in jail. They the girl. I'm like, get the out of here. I go down to the jailhouse, talk to the detective myself. No, ain't got no one for me. I just told the detective, like, hey, look, I take full responsibility for anything that happened in the house last night.
You gonna take the case?
No, but I told her, I said, as far as I know, because I asked around, and I'm like, yo, nobody got yada yada yada. They didn't even have my cousin in custody. My other cousins.
with me because they was mad they didn't get invited to the party. Hating ass. So my cousin wasn't even in custody. So I went down to the jailhouse for nothing. So I'm like, I take full responsibility for everything. You know, I bought the alcohol. They was like, well, you're not even of age to buy alcohol. And I'm like, well, how'd you get it? Well, I got a crackhead to get it for me. You know, whatever.
They went out there copping out pleas with
yeah, they had to do shit.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks later, they come and arrest me for criminal sexual conduct with a minor. So I had to get blood and hair follicles.
Oh, you going out there to initially explain it?
They ain't had nobody else depending on. So being that I went down there and took full responsibility, well, lock him up.
Did it get through? You got indicted on it and everything, or?
Now I went to court. And they reduced the charges to like contributing to the delinquency of a minor because I had to give blood and all, you know, DNA samples, and it wasn't me. Whoever touched it wasn't me.
So you didn't get no jail time over that?
Nah, I got like probation, like 4 or 5 months probation or something like that.
This story makes me sick to the pit of my stomach. So guys, what do you think about this story? What do you think about the clips that you've seen, the documents that I've read? Are you as disturbed as I am? Cancel culture has its flaws, but in my opinion, Charlamagne needs to be canceled. I'm not even calling him Charlamagne the God because who calls themselves a god? Some videos would come up in my recommended on YouTube with Charlamagne the God, where he has this segment called Donkey of the Day, where he discusses deplorable actions that people have done, or, you know, just things that people have said that was unacceptable. And it's so crazy that he has this segment, and I feel like it's probably to cover himself because he knows what he's done, and he probably doesn't want to face the consequences of his actions. And he basically puts a lot of people on blast. It's very interesting because he feels like these people should be held accountable when he's never been held accountable for his alleged actions. It's really insane to me. We don't want to hear you. We don't want to hear anything about donkeys of the day when it's clear that you, Charlamagne, are actually the biggest donkey of the day. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And I don't like the idea of any type of injustice happening to anybody. Like, it just deeply disturbs me, especially when I see people get away with it, and worse, that they're so proud about their actions and they never are held accountable. They never seem apologetic. It just like blows my mind, and it drives me insane. Like, it drives me insane. It really, 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 really bothers me, guys. It bothers me. It really hurts because I put myself in these people's shoes, and it just bothers me. I can't just not do anything about it. So I use the little tiny platform that I have, and hopefully, you know, this will make a difference. Please, guys, help me share the story. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. Until next time, have a blessed one. Bye.